All right. Good morning, guys. Tradingology.com's trading room for June 9th, 2020. Good to see you guys. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, everybody.
How was your weekend?
It's nice. The weather was absolutely gorgeous. We did a barbecue on Sunday, kind of a big family barbecue, and that was really nice. That was first barbecue of the summer.
Nice. Very nice. Hey, Mark, good to see you.
Morning, everybody. Yeah, so how was yours?
We had, it was a busy one, that's for sure. We had a couple 90s run through. Today we're actually getting back, and the high's going to be like 70 tomorrow, so we're welcoming the cool down. But we got a big storm coming tonight and the cold front behind it. But the weekend was pretty good.
Don't tell me that, because I know it's headed my way.
The storm will push south from the lakes. Here safe.
Okay, that's good. Glad to hear you took care of that for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, interesting market. So, we've been building up a short position. I've been building up a short position and, waiting because we had the buy sell signal on the market timer at pretty much all-time levels here, high levels. And it hit yesterday, it hit 20. It was 17, which is the highest since May 1st. The 20 we hit yesterday on the spreadsheet is the highest for the year. So there's bound to be some pullback. I don't know if it's going to lead to anything much larger at this point, but we'll see how it goes. We're down 400 on the Dow. NASDAQ got a little bid this morning. It was up almost 20. The NQ is up about 20, 22 points. Now it's starting to
they made another new high.
Fade. Yeah. It's just incredible the bids that the NASDAQ is getting.
Well, I noticed too, I was looking around across the board, the indicators, as you know, and others may not yet, but as you're building up your short position on the YM, I'm doing the same on the ES. So I'm in the positive at this point. So it just actually crossed it this morning.
Yeah, good.
Right around here is my break even at this point. So it's perfect timing, actually.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on it. We're down 419. Let's see. Let's take a look at the internals here. They are very, very much in the trending category, not minus 2,000 yet, but
it's trying to get there. Yep.
Yep. The MTXL though, the
buried. They're all buried.
Yep, definitely under that 20% level or above that 80% level on the selling side. So.
Yeah, and looking across the board, I saw the other ones too. Like look at bearish herdings coming in, EOP switching over to the red.
Yeah.
We got.
So we'll see how the day plays out. We may have. It's going to be volatile. When I was looking at the futures this morning, they were extremely volatile. I mean, the MYM was jumping around by 5-10 points at a time instead of one.
The MT oscillators are starting to turn down.
Yeah.
They've been buried at positive for the last few days, just on 10, so it didn't even look like it was there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
that's
right to the extreme.
Yeah, I kind of did a once across all of them this morning. Excuse me, needs more coffee.
I was terribly congested this morning. It's the warm weather, then it turns cold. Like last night, it was really cold sleeping here. I was talking to somebody at 7 o'clock this morning, and I was like, it was terrible. Anybody doing any trading? Anybody doing anything this morning? You guys alive out there? What's going on? The doctors are in. Oh, I can't hear you anymore, Dan. I don't know what happened.
Oh, I had muted my mics for a second so I didn't cough at you.
There you go.
Okay.
Morning, Andre.
Yeah, look at this strong strength signal. We opened up at negative 65. Now we're at negative 41. That's a big number on that strength side.
It is. That shows some real sharp and selling pressure there. How's the NASDAQ is also down minus 4.5, which is
it's actually shooting down right now. Yeah.
Yeah, shooting down.
SR1 and 2 right on top of each other. That doesn't happen very often.
No.
Same as yesterday.
Yeah.
Mark says he's waiting for his levels on the MES. Trading the whip zone, exactly. So yeah, I think I talked to you, or at least I shot you a text real quick on that. I had finally got around to that final course that you did on Scott's price action profit. That's a game changer when you see that wrap up. So if you guys that have that haven't seen it yet, definitely get through it so you can see those end most recent pieces. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It is. It is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. And yes, Andre says, David, the PAP course you last video you're saying you use PAP for 51% of your trading. That's it. Yep. The rest is just support and resistance. So just support and resistance. I'm looking at those areas that have been touched before as support, hit before as resistance. I'm not real big on trend lines. Not real big on head and shoulders, triangles, stuff like that, because they tend to be broken more often these days than they were, let's say, even 10 years ago. So yeah, just support and resistance, really.
Yeah, it looks like we got some room to run if the ES is now closed below this support level, actually. So we could drop down nicely here. We got some white space, that's for sure.
Yeah, so what's the next level there? 31.78.
31.65, and there's a 31.78 Camarilla.
Okay.
And over on your YM side, same kind of story. All the way down to 27,000 is free sailing. But we're right above this, so it's got to break back down and close below that guy we want to see.
Yeah. Well, let's make it so.
Exactly. Well, I was looking at the last few days, and we've noticed these trends over time, right? Whereas when we look at the MTXL on like a week, it's usually that roller coaster, right? Up day, couple down days, up day, couple down days.
Right.
And then when you look at this is kind of not seen in a long time where we had all these up days. There's one kind of in the middle day, but so this was Friday and here was yesterday. We're definitely due for a down day, which is where we're starting out, where everything's completely reversed here.
Yeah, if you go on a daily, it's rare that you get two to 3 days in a row of up and then without a down day. So
yeah, so there's more normal up, up, down, down, up, up.
Yeah.
I think with this, the gov buying everything, it's manipulating that as well. And today we have I was looking at the calendar, we got a FOMC statement. Do we think we're going to see anything interesting out of there?
Well, let's take a look at the 10-year. You got a 10-year you can pull up real quick because it's been up. The yield has been up.
Let me grab a chart that's not doing anything up here. That's our ZN.
Like we mentioned, they're going to follow the longer-term rates. They really don't have much of a choice when it comes to lowering or raising rates. Ooh, look at the RTY. Ooh, the RTY is just selling off.
Oh, wow. That's very commonly a leading one, too.
Yeah.
That's already down 2.5% plus, almost 2.5%.
Yeah, that is the faster horse today. Mark, concerning the PAP, Scott seems to be using bodies of the candles in the longer time frames and wicks in the shorter time frames. In the latest update video, it's the opposite. Yeah, you're mistaken. On the longer term, if you look at the original video, he uses the wicks on the monthlies. He uses the bodies on the shorter time frames. It's the opposite. He uses the body on the shorter time frames.
So we're jumping up on the ZN.
In fact, Scott did 2 updates to the course yesterday.
Even more fresh ones coming out. Very nice.
Yeah. Oh boy, RTY broke that camera. ZN's up.
Yep, ZN's up 137.
So the yields have come down just a little bit. Let me see where it is. It's 0.81. So it has gone up over the last week or so. But on the daily, on a 5-day, we hit a high over 0.9. So we almost got to 1%. So if they see rates since the last meeting, I think it was like at 0.7 or 0.65, and they're seeing the 10-year go up to 0.8, 0.9, they got to be a little bit worried because they do not want to raise rates. They don't want to raise them. They want to lower them. When it costs more money, especially for corporations to go out and borrow funds, and it's costing them more, it's going to really eat into their profits. So, boy,
So that is scheduled for, usually it's the afternoon, right?
Yes, it's 2:00 in the afternoon on Wednesday.
Yep.
The announcement is anyway.
Yes. And that's when they are, yeah, so there is a Fed funds rate. They are expecting, I'll just pull this over here so you guys can see what I'm looking at. Let me grab this guy. It's the same old Forex calendar. But yeah, Fed funds rate. I didn't know there was actually a potential announcement for it there. Let's open that guy up.
Yeah, what are they saying? What's the indication? Lower 0.25%?
Less
Oh,
than
no.
a quarter, yeah, so it's previous, so the forecast is the same, less than a 0.25%.
Yeah, it's the same then. But I gotta imagine Powell is getting a little worried about this rise in the rates on the long end of the curve. They're, they can do that short term, keep those short term rates down, but they have no. And the only thing they can do is is go out and buy more longer term treasuries. If they have, if they keep buying those long term treasuries, let's see, yeah, they'd have to go out and buy them now. So look at the 30 years, almost 1.65.
I wonder how long it's going to take until we see a 50 and a 100 on this list.
Yeah, it could happen. That's for sure. But the rates, I mean, the 10-year has just been crazy. It's gone from 0.66 to 0.88, and in a very short time, even 9.1. So
yeah, it's actually 91 yesterday, and it's come down.
That's a very, very sharp increase in rates.
So any of that volatility just leads to it, right? That's what they can't handle is when they don't have control.
Yeah.
And they can't admit that they don't have control.
That's right. It's all about confidence. If the market feels that they can actually do what they say they're going to do, it's wait until the market finds out that they can't actually influence long-term rates. Then they're going to say, wait a minute, we're raising rates? I thought everybody wanted negative rates.
Right. We just crossed the 2,000 level on the issues.
Yeah, that looks a lot more negative. We're stair-stepping down on the volumes.
Yep, everything's even worse.
Mike B says, historically speaking, rates don't rise during an election year. Okay. Well, if that's the case, then we're going back down, and the announcement tomorrow will probably be to keep the rates the same. I got to believe, though, if that 10-year hits 1%, they got to raise. There's no choice. They have no choice because they can't. They only can follow rates. They can't make them on the longer term end of the yield curve.
And with everything on the shortened time cycles that we've seen, right, will it be faster to the hyperinflation possibilities? Because they just keep printing on money again and again and again. I sent you a note too. I had a little epiphany. Remember how everybody was all happy last week because the payroll report came out and it was up 2.5 million or billion, or whatever it was.
Right.
I started thinking about it. I'm like, wait a minute. They issued all these PPP stimulus money. A stipulation of that was that people had to be rehired so they could actually keep that money and potentially turn it into a grant. And all of a sudden, all these funds are becoming available finally because it took a while to get them transferred into the banks for the businesses to use. Then all of a sudden, there's a big jump in payroll. Well, yeah, it's because you put a whole pile of free fake money in their accounts and now they're using it.
Bingo. Yeah, you hit it nail right on the head. Yeah,
and
they have to hire them back. So people don't have a choice. They'll lose their unemployment if they don't accept the reemployment.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, yeah, you stand back and you take a look at all the things and you see the picture. It's like, oh yeah, they think it's up because everything's great. yeah, no, that's not the case.
Right, exactly. That's absolutely right. Well, look at the internals there turning sharply higher on
Wow.
the down.
It's going to be off the screen in a second here. We can't go past a 1.
Yeah, which would mean 100% of the market participants are shorting the market.
Oh, that's when we might see what we're expecting is just the bottom completely fall out.
Yeah.
Mike says, but we've turned history on its head. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we went negative on oil. Nobody ever thought you'd see that, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, this could be a history-setting year. All kinds of things can happen, no doubt about it.
Well, you know what's coming in the second half of the year. So we had the plague, we had the killer bees, we had the crazy things going on. Next, we got aliens. Then at the end of the year, we're going to have Godzilla. So I'm just preparing everybody. Be ready for aliens and Godzilla.
Aliens. Yeah, that would be an interesting one. I'm a sci-fi fan, I love Star Trek. I love SG-1. I mean, those are my favorite shows. I just,
Yeah, we
every 4 or 5 years I watch SG-1 from the beginning all through, I don't know how many seasons, 12, 13 seasons there are.
Nice.
Because it takes me 4 or 5 years to forget them all. And it's like I'm watching them all brand new again.
Yeah, I'm just the corner of my eye. I got the Trade Evade ladder up, and it's just bouncing. It's amazing how sporadic it is right now.
Oh, that's a real good. Yeah, that's a sign of extreme volatility.
Yep, we're definitely in choppy water. So if you're scalping out there, be careful.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna ride this one down for a while.
But it's absolutely true that this year is going to be a very interesting one for the elections. I mean, I don't even know what's going on with the elections. I have no idea who is Biden still the candidate for the Democrats?
I think he's about the only one left, isn't he?
When do they do their? When do they do the? What do you call it? The caucus.
I don't know off the top of my head.
It's got to be coming up pretty soon because they've got to pick their candidate.
Well, I know they were talking about. There's already discussions around who the VP thing or person might be because Amy Klobuchar here from my state was potentially a candidate, but with all the other stuff going on, she's not looking so good for him. So I think it might already be done, and he might be entertaining who's going to be the running mate. I don't know. What you guys might know if anybody else is following out there exactly. It's definitely not taking the front center stage with everything else going on in the world where it's not on your headline news every night.
That's right. Yeah, it's not.
Everything else is. Now we got manipulation going back up.
Yeah, we're getting a bid. Let's see how long that lasts. Geez, we were down 405, now we're down 290, but the internals have not improved that much, a little bit.
Yeah, we just barely ticked above 1995, 94. That's the market makers actually taking the other side of that because they have to. Everyone wants to sell and they got to take the buy.
Yeah.
Because it's a orderly and fashionable market, right? For them.
Yes, it's supposed to be an orderly market, absolutely. Here we go.
Did we miss any questions? Nope. We're safe there. What else do we got going on in the world?
Just some stuff I'm watching. There's one stock out there that I've been watching that I kind of like, and I started buying it. In fact, I put it in my new newsletter, the Balance of Power newsletter. You signed up for that, I hope.
Oh, I did. I can pull that guy over if you want to talk to anything on it.
Yeah, sure.
That.
Yeah, let's grab that.
So here's the spreadsheet. We got, looks like 3 positions. XLY, diamonds, and XLF.
No,
that's on your watch list.
That's the watch list. Yeah, positions are the gold silver ratio, which I forgot to add yesterday, and then
so your
Mara is the other one. Yeah,
that's from the beaten up stock strategy.
Yep. Very interesting. I started buying around 72 cents. It had, and I can't remember if we mentioned this already, but it had like 2 days in which it did over one was 32 million shares and the other one was like 20 million shares or something like
Yeah, I think you touched on that last time.
that. So I'm still actually I'm in the market accumulating some more shares this morning. Just put in a bid at 89. See if I get that. But I think it's going to go to about $2. So it doubled my money. But we'll see. It's in the blockchain. They do mining. And one of the things that always confused me, and I wasn't quite sure of it, but it was cleared up recently, is what happens after the halvings are done? How do the miners actually achieve their profitability goals? And how is it profitable for miners to validate transactions on the Bitcoin blockchain?
Yeah, because it's suddenly worth half as what it was before, right?
That's right. And that's right. And so there's a guy by the name of Simon Dixon. And I don't know if you saw the interview he did with George Gammon.
I did not see that one.
Let me put that in the chat because it was a fantastic interview. Simon Dixon is someone I hadn't heard of before. He was a really, really early Bitcoin guy. He was at the very first Bitcoin conference, which was not called Bitcoin conference. It was like an alternative financial paradigm or something. I forgot what he called it exactly, but it was not called the Bitcoin conference. It was later called the Bitcoin conference. But there were only 60 people there, and he was one of them. He has since invested equity into different blockchain companies like Circle and Coinbase and Ripple Labs and a couple other companies. But he's very sharp. I like what he has to say. Let me see if I can find this.
Yeah. No crazy changes, little reversals coming back. Oh, and we got Sham's not on yet, but I'm sure he'll catch it later. MGI is still doing nicely. I pulled up and looked at that shortly. Up on the upper half of the $3 range now, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it's right at 351 right now. So MGI's overnight it took a big jump from 3.3 to 3.7. That's a big jump overnight for MGI again.
Well, here's I don't know if you saw the article that Ashish Burla from Ripple put out yesterday. Did you see
I
that?
saw a note to it. I didn't get the chance to read all of it, but I did see it come out.
I don't know what to make of that, to be honest with you. I really don't know. Here's that link to that Simon Dixon and George Gammon interview. Fantastic interview. I highly suggest everybody go take a look at it. But anyway, getting back to this article that Ashish put out yesterday, he was extremely, I would say, I took it very negatively.
And who is he again?
He is like the head of, what is he? He's head of, not head of markets, but let me pull it up. And I'll link to that too. I can't remember his title, and I don't think he puts it actually in the article.
Yeah, I forget where I caught it. I did see it somewhere where I just glanced over it.
Yeah, let me see. That's one. The title is Staying the Course in Remittances and SME Payments. When I read it, I took it somewhat negatively. There you go. If you want to pull it up, we can kind of go through it if you want. Ashish is, he didn't put his title in there.
Excuse me.
Yeah. But basically, they're saying that instead of going after large corporate payments, they're sticking with, and in fact, I think it's in. So while the world changes around us, Ripple is staying the course. We're continuing to focus on supporting low-value, high-frequency payments with ODL, though transaction volume may look different in this new world. In particular, we are reducing emphasis on large treasury payments. I don't understand that shift in their in the kind of growth that they're looking for. If they move away from large corporate treasury payments, which is kind of what they thought MGI was going to do for them. See, that was kind of the role I thought MGI was going to take, was to be that facility to enable large corporate treasury payments. And they are kind of shifting away from that, maybe because MoneyGram's going to do more of that, and they're not. They're focusing on the low value payments, which I don't understand, because originally they had said that, we need a high value XRP, a high price XRP to move larger and larger payments. I'm not sure why they're shifting from those corporate payments. And they also mentioned Western Union and MoneyGram in here.
Yeah. And with all their talks of merger, acquisition, whatever you want to call it, Western Union buying MoneyGram, who knows what that brings into the fray as well.
Right. And so I'm wondering if, in fact, what's happening is that Western Union is starting to step into the picture. They're starting to become, they're either, the rumor about them buying MoneyGram may be, and there's a lot of precedence for this, of a larger entity absorbing a smaller entity in order to take their technology or squash it.
Right. Yep.
Right. So they may be looking at saying, hey, MoneyGram is going to overtake our business with these low cost transfer payments, reducing our friction. We make a fee, a very nice large fee on each one of those transactions. And then for them to acquire MoneyGram would basically maintain their profit margins.
Yeah, we've seen that time and time again over history, where a competitor comes up that has new technology that's better than the gorilla, and they just buy them to take the technology off the market.
That's right. That's absolutely right. So I don't understand. I'm very, very, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with this shift in their focus, but it is a change, because they had previously indicated that they were going after a larger vice president project management. Okay. So so their shift here, staying the course with remittance, and that's any payments and low value transfers, may indicate that they see larger potential in that vertical.
Well, and if you think about it too, is that similar to, just taking a small fee on a ton of transactions like the Visa play, where it's like, hey, we just get 3% of everything because the money moves everywhere.
Right. I mean, yeah, it could be. I mean, it could be. I don't know why they would mention Western Union and MoneyGram in the same sentence there, because Western Union has been kind of a competitor.
Right.
And they partnered with MoneyGram, and they own 10% of MoneyGram. I know a lot of people have on Twitter, they've tagged Ashish Birla to see if he can clarify what he's talking about here. And there's plenty of negative Twitter comments, of course.
Oh, right, I'm sure.
Everybody thinks this is bad for XRP, but I don't know. I really don't know.
Related here about MoneyBet. You ever heard of that exchange? Apparently, we saw some type of promo on it. Just curious if you crossed paths with it yet. I haven't.
What's the name of it?
MoneyBet.
No. Nope, haven't heard of it.
Do some digging, Mike. See who they are. Yeah, a new P2P. Oh, it's a betting exchange. What just
Oh,
something just triggered?
yeah, I bought some more shares of.
That was you. Okay, I thought that was me for a second. I'm like, what was that?
No, I think it was me. Yeah, it's not working anymore. So I bought some more shares of Mara.
Okay. It was funny. Right as the chime went, my XRP chart moved. I'm like, what? Like, did we get a spike to $10 and I got a fill?
What? Yeah, yeah, yeah. That would be nice.
That'd be fun.
So here's, I mean, in that newsletter, by the way, I don't know if you have that, but in that newsletter, yesterday's newsletter, I highlighted XRP. It looks like we're gonna go. I think the whole crypto market is just gonna go down a little bit here. I think we're gonna get a little bit of a pullback. Cardano, Ethereum, XLM have been really, really the leaders. They've really gone up very, very nicely. XRP hasn't really moved yet.
Oh, see, this part I haven't even seen yet. This is even new to me.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't get a
That was
chance.
yesterday. Yeah, that was yesterday's newsletter.
Okay.
So yeah, if you didn't sign up at the Strong Market, one of the reasons why I'm doing this is that I'm switching from. I have an email service provider that sends out my emails, and I'm switching to a new ESP, kind of like Aweber. So I'm switching over to a new one.
Sure.
So everybody's got to re-up if they want my newsletter. And I've added some value here.
I didn't get a chance to actually open the emails up, so this is my first time seeing it.
Oh, okay.
I've been getting them. In all my spare time, I can't read all of them, so this is awesome.
Yeah, I think I add a lot of value to it. I got my watch list in there, positions open. So if you guys haven't signed up yet, just go to strongmarket.com and get it. And I review a couple of cryptocurrencies. I review the market. I'll review some stocks as we go.
Andre, the Excel spreadsheet is in your portal on Strong Market.
Yep. Yeah, the Excel spreadsheet is only for subscribers. So if you're a subscriber to the real-time update service or a Strong Market subscriber, then you can get to download the spreadsheet with the watch list and everything in it. Otherwise, free subscribers, just get the screenshots of
The newsletter and this. Okay.
Yeah. Eventually, the positions open is going to be eliminated completely from this free newsletter, and you have to subscribe in order to see the open positions. But for now, I'm going to keep it free.
Very cool. That's a brand new picture too. It's your fresh haircut.
Yep. Yes. And you can see I'm using the quadrant system in there, pretty much highlighted in that.
Yep, definitely.
Well, this is very, very odd price action. We have the internals continuing to be pretty negative, but we're getting a bid on the NQ.
Yeah, there's a tiny little blip there, but then it came back down. We see.
Yeah. That's a lot of volatility right there.
How's our indexes looking? Bearish herding is definitely filling out. The balance of power is growing. Yeah, the NQ is a really odd one. Another new high right now on the NDX.
Yeah, to say that was odd would be an understatement because we were down, I think, close to 30, 40 points on the NQ. So looks like the S&P is the Dow and the S&P are pretty close to each other, down about 1%.
Yep, exactly one, and just a little bit ahead on the Dow. And what's our other ones looking like here? That's still staying way to jump down to 60 again. Now it's right around 50, negative
That's
49.
still very on the ST. That's very negative. Yeah, that's very very negative.
It's less negative, but it's still on the negative side on the NDX side.
Yeah.
Bounced right off of the SR1 and 2 there. Interesting. And how is the oscillators turning after this time? Where did I move that one? There's that one. Oh, they're still looking at breaking down.
Yeah. And that's on a 10-minute, so they're still on the downside. It's probably the market makers just trying to take out some stops so they can go short.
If you guys didn't see, I was able to get a lot more of these recordings up on the new site, so you'll keep seeing them populate more and more. We're good to go there. If there's anything you guys see along the way that looks funny, please let me know. Just shoot me an email, support@tradingology.com, and I'll fix it up. I haven't found any little mistakes yet, but it's bound to happen sooner or later.
Yeah, the site looks great. Love it.
Thank you. Thank you. The other part that is going to be more populated quickly is that where you get the link for this meeting is the trader resources. So look for more things populated in there soon as well, along with the historical recordings that people like to have.
Mm.
Get those spreadsheets up. When someone was asking for the vol arb spreadsheet, and I've been hadn't been updating it every day, so I'm going to get that back up to snuff and get those posted as well. So everything that we had in that downloads area, aside from maybe some super old workspace that isn't relevant anymore, but all those spreadsheets will get back up there in the trader resources area.
Yeah, did you see that the image I showed you yesterday of the QQQs and the diamonds?
Yeah, and how they're getting close to the same price.
Yeah, they're almost right on top of each other now. Very, very odd.
Yeah, what do we have? 273 on the diamonds and 241, 242 on the Qs right now.
Yeah, they're only $30 apart.
Let me see. Let me find that picture. We can show what we're talking about there.
And so when you see the NASDAQ race ahead of the Dow, which it has been much, much stronger than the Dow, is that it's full of speculative activity by small investors. And so we saw the same thing in 2000. You can see what happened to the index then. It went, the 1999-2000 dot-com crash. We had the NASDAQ just race ahead of the Dow. And then it corrected, and the Dow outperformed the NASDAQ that corrected. So I'm kind of looking for the same thing where we are right now. We were in a channel for many, many years, and it has corrected lower.
Yeah, this is 2008, 2009 here.
Yeah. Yeah. Eventually, so when you get the technology stocks, which are favored by small speculators, really, really ramping higher, look for a correction in those, in the Dow holding fairly steady. I think that's what we're going to see. One way to play that is simply through options. You can do some long dated options on the diamonds long and the QQQ short puts.
Yeah, those like a year out, like you said,
Yeah.
Super out of the money, cheap.
Yep, give them a good long time to work. I would go out to March 2021. Yeah, March or June.
Good 9 months, absolutely.
All right, guys, any questions? We're at 10:40 here Eastern time. We're gonna
Yep. Just about time to put a bow on this one.
few minutes to go, but we got a little bit of a bid coming in here on the markets,
And
which is
usually when there's the FOMC talks, right, it usually calms down until the storm. But we don't think there's a storm coming today, but usually they get more mellow and the moves are muted. So I was kind of surprised to see this much activity actually in the morning
yeah.
for a statement day.
Well, NASDAQ is just insane.
Yeah, be careful, Mark.
Up nearly 35 points.
Yeah, another all-time high, 99.24. Just happened. Just creeping above the negative 2,000. It's just hugging that. So, and it was the exact opposite yesterday where it just hugged just under positive 2,000. So we should see stair steps down is what that should. And I say should. Nothing is 100%, but that's why we watch them to get clues on which way things should go, because when all your orders are coming in, our sell orders are the majority of the volumes going into that. And we don't have the separation like we did yesterday. That's one thing I was watching is we had a lot of separation between the issues and the volume.
Right.
That's a lot closer today.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Yeah, it is. So we should see. So we're hitting the NASDAQ's resistance there on.
Yep, it's right on it right now. We'll see how that reacts to it. And it's got a person's right behind it too, so that enforces it even more. So that's a rare day where that's actually above the person pivot and everybody else is below.
Right.
That's rare. That'd be a good day for the old VA trade there.
It would be because what's the percentage differences in the two? It's huge, right? Because
that's over 1%.
it's over.
The contract itself is 1.2%, 1.3%.
Yep.
Where's the index? The index is at.
The diamonds are at 84. Oh, the indexes are 93 minus 94, and the NDX is plus 33. So over 100, 1.2, 120%. So
wow.
120 on that.
That's crazy.
That's a very, very big difference. And when you see the when you saw that chart, the diamonds minus the Qs,
mm-hmm.
I think,
yeah,
that's crazy.
Well, I think with that we'll probably wrap it up and just keep watching what's cooking here.
One more thing before we go is if you can bring up a chart of DBA.
DBA?
Yeah, DBA is agricultural ETF, and we've been talking about commodities bottoming at some point because since 2008, 2009, we've been in a bear market of commodities. And so what I like to do, and I'm very much of the same mind as George Gammon in this, is I like to buy things when they're cheap. And we have been in a bear market for commodities, especially agricultural commodities now, for over 10 years. And so I'm starting to accumulate DBA. In fact, that's going on my balance of power list here. At one time, it was, if you go back even further on the weekly chart, I think it was up to closer to 35 or 40. Yeah, it was around 42 there, 44, someplace around there.
Yep.
We've been in a bear market since 08. I think the risk is relatively low because if we do see some inflation with all of the money printing that's going on, starting to look at DBA as a good hedge against hyperinflation is something I'm looking at. Not investment advice, something I'm looking at. So At 1376, it looks attractive to me to begin building a position. Not all in at once, but just to start looking at building a position, because number one is agriculture is not going away.
Right.
It's not like a stock in a company, right, that can go out of business. We are always going to have wheat, soybeans. I think the investments they make is wheat, soybeans, basically all the agriculture stuff.
Yeah, until we actually have true science fiction where we have food synthesizers like you saw in Star Trek, it's not going anywhere.
That's right. That's my final insight of the day.
That is. Dun, 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 dun. It's gonna get a list if you wanted it. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, that's cool. Very interesting. I like it. Has it ever been? Let me go back. Let's pull up a monthly. I'm curious.
I think it started. I don't think you may not be able to go back
When
farther.
did they form this one? Is that about how long it's been around?
Maybe that's about when it started. Yeah, that's when it was. The ETF was created.
War on gluten. Gluten's good for you. I like my gluten diet.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people. I mean, some people have that, that issue, but a lot don't. A lot more don't. So, I think it's cheap. I think it's cheap at this point. I can just look at it and say, you know what? It's looking real cheap to me, and especially if supply chain constraints start to tighten, the supply chain starts to tighten a little bit, agriculture could go up even without hyperinflation.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head there again, too, is not looking at the exact price, but the value is the biggest thing that a lot of these people that you have to wrap your brain around. It's like, is it cheap? Is it not? It's like, no, what's the value? Is it actually under or overvalued for what it is?
Right.
Biggest thing, and that's absolutely undervalued. So it'd be a sound investment. Again, do your own research. But yeah, taking a look at that, absolutely.
Now there's DBC, which is the commodity index, but that includes oil and some other things. DBA is the agriculture ETF, which is what I'm kind of focused on right at this point.
Awesome. All right, last minute insight. There you go. A little fake rally.
I believe it is a fake rally. I mean, let's see what happens, but I mean, I don't see a lot of volume coming in on the up-down volume. It's still stair-stepping down. I think it's just a little bit of a specialist fake out here to get everybody in so you can continue off the market.
This is just building out.
Yeah, it's building out fairly well. So
Power's just shooting out.
looks like a divergence here between what's really happening and the price.
Right. Watch this play out.
Yep. I got my pocket.
You know how to get a hold of us in the offline. If not, we'll see you back here on Thursday, and obviously in the Slack channels in the trading room, or any emails that you guys need, let us know. Dave,
Absolutely.
You have yourself a fantastic middle of the week.
You too. Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. We'll see you on Thursday morning. Be safe out there. Absolutely, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. You too.
Take care.
See you guys.